whilst I'm training full-time in Sheffield on GB, that in my own time I'll have a little bit of downtime and I can get the work done rather than having to go to a classroom and sit and do the work in a classroom at an actual college. I don't think I'd have the time to get it done there. So Oxbridge course is ideal for me, and it's helped me get the qualification that I want to. Hi, my name's Tori-Ellis Willets. I'm from Birmingham. I'm a Team GB boxer and I'm also in the army and a Oxbridge student. So from the age of 11, I wanted to do some sort of martial arts sport, and I originally did karate upstairs and I didn't like the session, and I knew that they was doing kickboxing downstairs, so I thought I'd give that a try. I kickboxed until the age of 18 and eventually won 2 national titles, 3 English titles, 2 British titles and 3 golds at the World Championships. Really enjoyed it, but because it's not an Olympic sport, I decided to transition to boxing and see how far I could get in the boxing world. I saw the army boxing team at one of the competitions, and I asked one of those what you have to do to get into the team, and they explained it to me, and I thought, oh, that might be a good idea. So I joined the army. I did all my basic training, so I had to have time out of like kickboxing and boxing, become a full-time soldier, like learnt my trade. And then when I got to regiment, I got trials for the boxing team. And I boxed for the army boxing team for a couple of years, winning 2 national titles, and got trials for Team GB. So now I'm on Team GB full-time. Being 2-time elite national champion, definitely. That was one of my massive achievements, especially when I entered. I'd only had 2 fights and I was like the underdog, and I come against the number 1 seed, number 2 seed, and managed to like blitz through it all. And then obviously getting onto Team GB is one of my massive achievements. I've always had a dream to be on Team GB and then go to the Olympics and win the Olympics golds. People think it's not as hard as what it is for women in the sport just because you're a woman, and you have to prove that even though you're a GB boxer, the level for female is just as hard as what it is for male, and you still have to train just as hard, and you still have to push yourself through a lot of things just to get to where you want to be. It's not as easy as plain sailing as what people think it is because you're a woman and whatnot. You're also in the same position as what a man is, mindset-wise and physically. I usually find now that I get messages of young girls on Instagram and Facebook or Twitter asking how I got to where I was, what did I have to do, that they want to follow in my footsteps. So I just explain to them and try and give them the best route and options of what to do. Personally, I keep my mindset always has to be that hard work will always pay off, and I feel like I'm like one of the hardest working people in the team, so I feel like it will pay off eventually, whether or not it's now or later. I know at some point that it will, and then I'll reap the rewards later on in life. I wanted to have a career behind me. So before I joined the army, I was a level 2 fitness instructor, and I never got to fully complete my level 3 PTI course. I've always wanted to be a PTI, but then being in the army, I've never really got round to it. And I know in the long run that it would help me if I've got my PTI qualifications behind me. When I have to fall back on a job, what I can do is I can become obviously a PTI, and it'd be good for me. I also knew that whilst I'm training full-time in Sheffield on GB, that in my own time I'll have a little bit of downtime and I can get the work done rather than having to go to a classroom and sit and do the work in a classroom at an actual college. I don't think I'd have the time to get it done there. So Oxbridge course is ideal for me, and it's helped me get the qualification that I want to. It keeps me, sometimes having that switch off from boxing, it keeps me like sane and doesn't make me go too far into like overthinking boxing. So it gives me that downtime and allows me to think of other things, keeping the mind busy as well. So I think it's good for me to mentally stay on top of other education as well as doing my boxing, so I don't fall behind when it comes to later on in life and I need a job. So it gives me that support of an actual career, because you can do it in your own time, which is good and really useful, and you've got no pressure on you either from like other people getting it done before you in a classroom, and then you've obviously got the tutor, you can get in contact with them, which is ideal as well. So I think it's quite good for me. Failure is probably one of the hardest things to deal with, I suppose. It's a bit of a kick in the teeth at first, but then I always have to think, like, I always manage to get around it. I always manage to turn my negative into a positive and try and look at the better picture. I'm quite bad at being quite hard on myself because I feel like I'm a bit of a perfectionist, but it's the best way to be, and I know that with everything I put in, it will pay off.